Mark Doman is Managing Director with Creative Planning. He's live with us today from Las Vegas. I appreciate you coming on. Welcome.
My pleasure, Scott. Thank you for having me. Happy Friday.
Yes, you as well. How did this all come about? When I saw the name Wooten 150, I mean, I'm from Maryland. I immediately thought of Morgan Wooten, the legendary high school basketball coach. Is that what this is about?
That's exactly right. I'm actually also, I'm from Rockville, Maryland myself.
Right.
So those of us who know Morgan Wooten's name know that he's synonymous with high school basketball in this country. His family has continued the legacy of helping really build up these high school players onto college and hopefully the professional ranks. And I was thrilled to be invited out to teach these young men some financial literacy.
What exactly are you teaching? It's so interesting that we have guests from time to time primarily speaking about trying to, impart financial literacy on professional athletes or college athletes now with NIL. But I guess you have to start even younger because the promises of big dollars can start even earlier.
That's exactly right. I manage approximately 100 professional athletes and their finances at Creative Planning in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball. And since NIL came to be in the last few years, the reality is that this is a major windfall for these collegiate athletes, because if you look at the statistics of guys actually making it to the NBA or making it to a professional sports league, to give an example, there's over 538,000 high school basketball players. Only 0.3% were invited to the Wooten 150. And the other statistic is that of the Division I college basketball players, only 0.3% make it to the NBA. So with these players making 6 and 7 figures in college, with no student loans, no overhead for housing, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get them to save in case they don't become the next superstar in the NBA.
How are the messages being received by these high school athletes?
I was very pleasantly surprised today, Scott. After speaking for about a half an hour, there was a line of these young men who wanted to come up and say, listen, I want to understand my money. I don't want to just trust anybody with it. And what resources can I have to do that? Which is why we actually offer an internship to all of our professional athletes during their off seasons. We expect them to come to New York City and study their portfolios and study their money. And now it looks like we're starting to roll that out a little more for the college ranks.
Are high school players at this point getting any form of NIL?
State by state, it really depends. The reality is the landscape of NIL is the Wild West right now. You have to think about the other implications. If they're in high school, they're probably not over the age of 18, which means that they can't really file a tax return. And now it's income that goes to the parents. So there's a lot of tax planning involved as well.
How much do you find these kids know the basics of financial literacy? Maybe more than we think they do? What have you found?
They know a lot more than I did when I was their age. I told them the only thing I knew about money at 18 was that I didn't have any, and I was hoping to get to earn some at some point, right?
Yeah, join the club.
And I'm telling these guys, you have unlimited resources because you have a supercomputer in your pocket, which is actually a double-edged sword, because while they have access to infinitely more information than you or I had growing up, Scott, there's also a lot of bad information online, particularly on social media. So I try to sift through the stuff they're learning. Some of it is good, and some of it, is not the advice that we'd be giving.
So many of these players will end up in the McDonald's All-America game, right? Which is sort of the mountaintop of high school basketball exposure. At least it was when we were younger. Now there are so many different places that high school basketball players can get noticed.
That's right. This is the feeder game into the McDonald's All-American. There's only a fraction of the players that were at the Wooten 150 that will ultimately be invited to the McDonald's game, but it's not necessarily the indicator about whether they're going to make it as a pro. I believe that now, with the advent of some of these other leagues that take players out of high school, if they choose not to go the path of college, some choose to play professionally overseas for a year. The reality is these players are more like pro athletes than I've ever seen out of high school or college students. The game is much more sophisticated. These young people are much more mature about money and about the business of sports than you and I were growing up.